Hey guys, welcome back to the garage and this old color TV. This is I believe it's 1957 early RCA color TV I picked up recently with a CTC5 chassis in it. I knew something about these before I got it, that's why I knew it was a very early color set when I got it. I've since done a bit more reading, got some feedback from some other collectors. And I can tell you a few things. One, yeah, it's one of the first color sets made, and it uses a 21 AXP22 CRT, which is the first 21-inch color picture tube used in basically every color set from 55 to 57 or so when an improved version came out. And there's the rub. Yeah, so being the earliest, being the first of something isn't always the best. Meaning that it's cutting edge technology and it's not without its flaws. So you may have seen me do two color roundies I picked up last October, and I got an image on both of those without a whole lot of effort. This is considerably older and potentially more problematic. Number one issue being the picture tube. If it's bad, that's a problem. Much more so than any other project you've seen me start on, because it's very unlikely I could get a replacement. The construction of it's a bit odd. It's metal cone, has a big flange around the front of it. So if it is bad, possibly I could convert it to using an all glass color CRT, which was done back in the day, but it's not trivial. Just like trying to convert a black and white metal cone CRT to all glass is not trivial. So, first order of business. Now it's good that it has a replacement from '63 in it. Good because they did make improvements to it. I was just perusing the early television website, and they have some articles on this chassis and this CRT. So, a few things. I want to check the getters if I can, and then of course we'll check for emissions. I'm just not sure where the getter is. I think it's up towards the front here, based on what I just read. Now these have a few potential problems. One, you've got the front of it is a metal cone, and then we've got glass, and then a glass up front. So we have several metal to glass seams, and that's where you can get trouble, because as temperature varies and over time, you can get a leak, and air leaks in, and that's the end of that. Other potential problem is we have 3 separate electron gun assemblies inside in a delta arrangement. That's why you see like 3 coils around here corresponding to those. So we're not testing 1 electron gun, we're testing 3, and all 3 need to be good to get a good quality color image. And it's my understanding that the red phosphor chemicals they used back then were not as efficient as later ones, so they had to push the red gun harder, and typically that's the one that goes out first. But I'm getting way ahead of ourselves here. First, let's just try to get this base off very carefully. I also looked up a bit about the chassis construction. Their lovely green cadmium corrosion. This uses circuit boards. And it's a pretty large chassis. There's 5 circuit boards, maybe 6 in there. So, recapping it, be a little bit different than the usual point-to-point. Using a flat blade screwdriver to slowly start going around. Work this loose rather than trying to just rip it off, because since we have 3 electron guns, there's more pins than usual on the back of this, so more force holding it on. It's a very, very windy day. If you hear that creaking, it's because it's a bit warmer than it has been today, so You know, and you get weather changing. Things can get a little crazy in the Midwest. So yeah, I was holding off on testing this until I was hoping the weather get a little bit warmer. It is getting close to 40 outside, a little bit warmer in here. But I also got an interesting suggestion from one of you guys, which is to start with the lower filament juice and slowly increase it. My concern being, this has been sitting out here in the garage. Last night it was down into the teens, I think. So we've got some really cold glass here. I'm not crazy about just immediately putting in full current, which should generate close to 12 watts with all 3 tube filaments. I don't want to crack the glass from heat stress. Alright, so that's also quite filthy. I'm having trouble even seeing through the glass anywhere. Flashlight going here. I know the getter's up towards the front, but what I'm not sure is, can I even see it with this magnetic assembly and the yoke present. I'm just not sure. This is also interesting. Blue lateral magnet on this particular revision is an electromagnet, not a permanent magnet. Well, if this is where the getters are supposed to be around here, then I might be out of luck. But I'm not sure if that seems... I thought they were further forward. So let's just hook up the tester and see what we get. I'm going with my Sencor CR70 to test it because I do have the coveted number 8 adapter, which is for these CRTs. I think the creaking adds a little bit to the drama here. This might also be a rebuilt CRT, which also complicates trying to find getters. Alrighty, let's get this on. Carefully. All these pins, it takes a little bit of effort to get it on. Alright. Okay, let's get it plugged in. I'm going to turn the filament down to the lowest range. It's on. I'm at 4 volts right now. I'm not seeing anything, but I don't know how visible the filaments are. And I've got this reduced voltage, so it doesn't mean anything. All right. I've got this set for, I think, around 3 volts. I got it set up for the red gun. Here we go. Actually, I got about 1.5 volts on it right now. Let's go up a little higher than that. Let's go to 3 volts. So I'm guessing this only puts filament juice on one gun at a time. This is one of those fancy testers like the Beltron that'll do all 3 guns simultaneously. Well, the blue magnet was already getting knocked out of place, so I just completely moved it aside. So now I can see at the guns better. Alright, so that's what I'm seeing. Clear as mud, right? I don't know where this set, well, okay, this set was in a machine shop. I was about to say I don't know where all this filth came from, but yeah, I guess I do. Well, let's go up a little higher. Oh yeah, we have glowage. I think all 3 guns are. Oh yeah, because all 3 filaments are wired in parallel. That's right, it's pins 1 and 14 for the filament. So we don't get grid and plate voltage on all 3 guns, or anode voltage, but we do get filament juice. So all 3 filaments are lighting up, even at just 4.5 volts. So that's great. Because if it was badly leaked to air, we wouldn't see any glow. Trying to get a photo here. Alrighty, let's go up a little more. To 5. So it's cool, I'd say, the neck temperature is, I don't know, 55 degrees or something like that. I think you guys can see that now. Alright, I'm up to 6 volts now. That seems to be fine. Alright, so first hurdle has been passed. Now let's check about the actual performance of this. So you need to change a few things as you go between guns. So we're just doing the red gun right now. So first we'll test your shorts. So it's like testing 3 independent black and white CRTs. So no HK shorts, no G1 shorts, cutoff. Ooh, wow, we have all kinds of cutoff control. My tester just does that. Seems especially when CRTs haven't been on in a long time, the needle gets a little crazy and cut off. So it doesn't. I'm not concerned about that. Oh, wow. Life test. Needle is not even moving. Wow. Alrighty then. Let's test another gun. Now, I don't know if it's safe to change these switch settings while it's turned on, so I'm just going to turn it off before we go to the next, which will be green, so we want 5, 6, 7. 5. Is that right? 4, 2, 3 to 5, 6, 7. Okay. 5, 6, 7. And change the gun select to green. And contact. HK shorts, G1 shorts. Wait for cutoff to settle down. Yep, it moves. Now notice how it's in quite a different position. I left it in the same position as the red was, and green was quite a bit higher. I've heard what can happen with these sets as they age. They start cranking. There are controls, separate controls for the red, green, and blue that people start turning up the red to push it harder. Look at that. Like new. Alright, that just leaves blue. Alright, let's do blue. No HK shorts, no G1 shorts, squirrely cut off a little bit. And fantastic emissions. What do you think, Jupes? Isn't that exciting? Yes, very exciting. Yeah. All right, this tests like a brand friggin' new CRT, so that is not a problem. All right, now let's carefully get this off. Yeah, I suspect if this had the original, what, 56 or so CRT, things would be a little bit different. Tests like new, which makes me think, well, what the heck? It's dated like mid-63. How long would somebody have used this into the 60s? I mean, yes, I know it costs a fortune and all that, but by 63, this set was almost 10 years old. And a few years later, rectangular color sets came out. So this might not have been used much after somebody probably spent quite a bit to have a new picture tube installed. All right, now let's talk about the realities of working on a set like this. Just I was talking with other people who have worked on these and restored these, and nobody said it was fun. And varying degrees of the results, ranging from after many hours of frustration, they got it as good as they could and left it at that, meaning doing the convergence and purity and all that is a little bit more difficult than on later sets. But Lee's Doug, who helped me a lot in getting this set down from the third shelf and into my vehicle, he has the identical set. I shared a link. He did a video years ago, and he got his playing very well. So we'll go with that. That yes, with enough time, effort, love, and patience, you can get a respectable picture out of these. Oh, I wonder if the high voltage boxes. It's a quick one open. So as I said, I took a brief look at the service info. Some of it is pretty familiar to black and white sets. It's got a power transformer, dual parallel 5U4 rectifiers, some dropper resistors to make various voltages, and a bunch of tubes. Almost all of them are 12 volt tubes, a lot of dual elements. So we got like 12 U7s, 12 AT7s, 12 BY7. So nothing real exotic, no compactrons yet, nothing like that. 27 tubes plus the CRT, I do believe. I've heard the tuner can be kind of flaky, but of course in this day and age, I may just end up feeding a video directly into it, who knows, so I'm not too concerned about that. Legs, I got a few suggestions on that. One, the early TV convention is coming up. Oh yeah, so if you didn't watch the first part, the legs are missing. It had some nice gold, mid-century modern kind of tapered legs on it. They're gone. I will try to go back to the estate sale next weekend if I can. There was another porthole set there. There's a full set of the Rivers TV manuals. I tried to buy just the first couple volumes, but they said it's all or none. I had a full set, I gave it away. But I may come home with that. But anyways, while I'm there, I can scour the place, which is huge, and look for the legs again. Otherwise, so the reality of working on this, the CRT is attached to the cabinet. When you service this, you disconnect that, See that all this yoke stuff is going to this connector. We got this unplugged. Because it's a metal cone CRT, the high voltage actually might be fairly easy to disconnect, so it's not going to have that anode cap that goes into the glass. I'm not sure if the tuner plugs in or not. But the point is, you leave all this stuff here, you take the chassis to the workbench. Downside is you can't test it until you hook it all back up again. Unless you get a color test jig, which I do not. And even if I did, it would likely be a more modern one. So I'd have to make adapters, and I was just watching a video of a guy working on one of these with a rectangular, more modern color test jig, and he could get something on it, but because it was not designed to work with this and be plug and play compatible, it's better than nothing is what I'm getting at. But I don't have anything at this point. Maybe I could pick one up from somebody, a newer style, and do like he did and rig up adapters and stuff. But for starters, for sure, pull these out and just replace a whole bunch of caps. Doug, in his video, outlined what he did. Basically, there's a few dozen or more paper caps. Replace them. He had good luck with his original electrolytics. I believe he said he just replaced one of them and left the originals alone. So the electronics might not be that bad, is what I'm getting at. And we've already have a fantastic start to this project. I'm going to leave off here. I have other stuff, a whole bunch of other stuff I got to get to before this. But this is exciting. This will be a lot of fun, I hope, or frustrating or interesting. Well, we shall see. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.